Welcome, Family Partnership families. We are here today to learn about some math curriculum that I'm super excited about. We're here with Matthew Blackwood, who has Unlock Math. It's an online curriculum for kids in grades 6 through 12, and he's going to tell us all about it. But I just want to welcome Matthew and tell you thank you for sharing with us.
Well, thank you very much, Katrina. It's my pleasure to be here. My wife and I are homeschool parents ourselves of 5 children. We've been to Alaska, been fortunate enough to go to Alaska 3 times for the IDEA curriculum fairs and meet a lot of homeschool families up there. And it's been such a joy to do that. Of course, the last couple of years, that's not quite been able to make it up there, but hopefully we'll be back up there in the future. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I've got a short presentation, and then I want to go through our actual curriculum. So I'm going to share here, and hopefully you can all see my screen. I'm going to put this on presentation mode if I can get to, oh, there we go. Okay. All right, here we go. So Unlock Math is an online curriculum that takes care of everything for you. We do all the teaching, testing, grading. We even take care of extra help. I know that's a big issue for a lot of homeschool families, whether you've got younger kids and you just don't have the time to help your older student, or you don't feel capable. We actually take care of extra help 9 to 4 Eastern time, Monday through Friday, which works out to, I believe it's 5 a.m. to noon your time. We have foundations, which is a grade 6 class, and it's also useful for kids that need to catch up. One of the reasons that we developed foundations is we were having a lot of kids come to us that might be 13, 14, 15 that weren't ready for pre-algebra. In fact, some were on a 2nd, 3rd grade math level. And what Foundations does, it can take a student from a 2nd, 3rd grade math level and get them ready for pre-algebra in just a matter of months. So it's a really good curriculum to make sure your students have a very sound foundation going into pre-algebra. And then, of course, we have pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, pre-calculus, and we have a financial literacy course that's in development that will be, I believe, the most comprehensive financial literacy course on the market, even going into economic theory. And it will be a course where you actually do math. It's going to show you how to calculate annuities and your mortgage interest, and it's going to be very comprehensive that way. Let's see if I can click to the next slide. So who benefits from Unlock Math? Students who struggle, students with special needs. Let me tell you a quick story about a family in Florida who has a 16-year-old son with autism that just finished our geometry and now going into algebra 2. But before he began our algebra 2, he actually took a college placement exam in Florida and tested into honors algebra. So he's actually able to skip a college algebra class and go into the honors college algebra, only having taken our algebra 1. And I think I mentioned he's autistic and has a couple of other learning challenges. We also work with gifted students. We had a student a couple of years ago who graduated high school at age 12, used our program for her high school math. We work well for students who need to catch up 1 or more grade levels. Again, Foundations is a good way to do that. Also, since all of our courses are self-paced, students can work through as much material as they can in a year. Parents who want or need someone else to teach math, and this is a big one. Some parents don't feel capable, or some parents just have quite the workload with more than one student to teach in their home. And so being able to have someone else take care of that for you can open you up to take care of other things in the home and other children who need more hands-on work. So just a quick thing to go through some of the testimonials from our customers, just to give you an idea that these aren't things that I'm saying about our program. These are things that our customers are taking time out of their day to send us and let us know how their students have done in our program. So this is the mom in Florida I was talking to you about. She is just overjoyed at how well her son Luke has done in our program. And she now has she sent this to me about a month ago, and he's now started Algebra 2, and he is doing quite well. He's one of our favorites that comes on our online chat for help because he is a very diligent, very studious student. Another mom sent us this. She said she found Unlock Math last year and it's just changed their lives. She said the step-by-step approach and constant review are excellent. And the teacher, which is my wife, does a great job presenting the material, and her daughter's attitude towards math has completely changed. Another, and this blew me away because he actually not only sent me this email, he called me on the phone to tell me this. He said that their daughter, who previously struggled in math, is wanting to tutor math even on the weekends and over the holidays. Now, obviously, we cannot promise that for anyone, but it sure happened for his daughter, and he was overjoyed. Another mom wrote us to say that our program has been a lifesaver for their high schooler this year. He doesn't hate math for the first time ever and is understanding it. And those are, I literally could go through hundreds of these, and obviously we don't have time to do that. The dad said that they were coming from Khan Academy and expressed the thought that ours was way better, and his 12-year-old's attitude towards math did a 180 as soon as they tried Unlock Math. So how do we help students achieve these type results? And I'll tell you, it just begins with a phenomenal teacher, Alicia Blackwood, who is my wife, and she's got over 20 years of teaching experience. She's got this exceptional ability to explain math in a way that helps students conceptualize the concepts, and that leads them to greatly improve confidence and skill. I remember when we were first married, this is nearly 20 years ago, I would go and eat lunch with her every day that I could, and I would catch the tail end. She was teaching AP Calculus at the time, and I'd catch the tail end of her class. And I remember telling her way back then, I said, wow, if we could bottle you up, we'd really have something, because just the command that she had in the classroom and the fact that these kids were just in rapt attention and learning, it was just the dynamic in the classroom was amazing. And I was in love, but I was also very impressed. So another way that we help students achieve these results is that in our program, students continue learning during the assignments. We give them various question types that allow us to evaluate and build student knowledge and ability in ways other programs can't. Each student is served unique problem sets, and we give them unlimited retakes, giving them new questions each time. You'll see some other programs that will give students unlimited retakes with the same questions. We don't feel that's very helpful. For one, once students have seen the answer, it's hard not to just remember that answer and input it. We want them to actually have to do the math. And so we give them new questions each time, and we're going to take their best attempt and use that when calculating their grade. Now, you as a parent, you're going to be able to see every attempt, when they took it, how long they spent, every question they've been asked, every answer, our complete solutions. So we give them unlimited practice and review. We give them complete solutions after each question. And we also have extra help, like I said, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to noon Alaska time, via our online chat with certified teachers. Now, right now, I think I'd like to go back. I'm going to get out of the slide here to, let me see, with me a moment. I'm going to stop sharing and get out of the presentation mode here, because I want to close out the PowerPoint. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to do this because I'm going to log in and actually show you the program. So I'll start sharing again. If I can get. I've got to make that. Sorry about this. All right. Now we're sharing again. So this is our homepage, but it's also where you will log into our program. And I'm just going to click login here. And I've got it saved to our dummy student account. And we have a number of courses here. I'm going to actually go to our foundations. Oops. Usually a student will have one course connected at a time, but we have all of our courses here. So this is what a lesson page will look like. And each day, excuse me, this is our Unlock Foundations. Each day a student is going to begin with a 5-question warm-up. And in this warm-up, we take material from the day before. And this is just a quick check to make sure they remember what they learned. So a sort of review. And also to help them switch gears from the subject they were learning before learning a new concept with the video. And in the video, it's my wife. I'm just going to start it here. The sound may not carry through very well, but you'll be able to get an idea of the engaging manner.
In today's lesson, we're going to talk about place value part 2. Now, if you'll recall, place values have a specific pattern, and it makes it easier to determine which place value comes next. So let's talk about what we have learned previously. So suppose that we are counting apples at an orchard. So we're going to start with 1 apple.
That gives you an idea of what our videos are like. They're very engaging. We like to use a lot of colors, a lot of kind of visuals to help them understand the math. After the video, we serve them 10 practice questions that are just on the concepts that they've learned in that video. After each question, of course, they're going to be complete solutions, and they can take these as many times as they need to practice to mastery. So if 10 problems is good, we didn't want to be a program that was going to kill and drill students, but we wanted to give the students as much practice as they could possibly need. So if they need to do this 10 or 11 times, they can do it 10 or 11 times, and we're going to give them new questions every time. After that, we have a stay sharp exercise. And again, this is 10 questions. And these questions are taken from previous assignments, previous concepts, so that we're continuing to touch on those throughout the course and lock those concepts into long-term memory. Because what happens when you learn a new concept, it's like you get a new small dirt road in your brain. But every time you practice that concept, it widens, and you're widening those neural pathways. And so the more you practice and the more you review a concept, the more locked into long-term memory that it gets. After the Stay Sharp, we have a challenge question. Now, this is the only assignment in our entire program that students only have one attempt at. So the challenge yourself is one attempt, but it is bonus, doesn't count against them if they get it wrong, but gives them up to 5% bonus over the entirety of the course if they were to get every single one correct. But students are able to attack these questions with freedom because they know it's not going to count against them if they get it wrong, and it gives them an ability to really think outside the box. Also, each lesson, we give them reference notes. And this is essentially if you were to print it all out, because we give you that option as well. It goes along with the teaching video is essentially everything that's on the video, the same examples that are in the video, but it's in text form, and sometimes we'll have a glossary, once you get into, algebra and that, it can have a lot more information as far as formulas and that type thing. Now, you can, at the beginning of the year, if you wish, I'm going to show you this, go to the Welcome tab of the student page. And of course, we have a pacing guide that you can print out, but we have the entire set of reference notes. It is several hundred pages. It's essentially a textbook that you can print out. And we also have a couple of student guides there. But going back to the lesson, you'll see to the left here is our list of lessons, starting with 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, then we have a quiz. This is a 5-question quiz. It's given every second or third lesson. And they should take that quiz right before the next day's lesson. And then at the end of each unit, we have a unit review, which is practice for the unit test. And then we also have a printable assignment. What this is a lot of different places will require you to turn in work samples. And so this was a big request that parents had, that for us to develop something so that it would make it easy for them to do this. And that's what we did. So this is a printable assignment so that they can, students can print this assignment out, and then you can turn that in for work samples. Now, I also want to show you, so I was talking about the solutions. Now, the solutions aren't that robust in foundations because the math is a bit simpler. But if we go to, just going to go to our latest Algebra 1 course. Whoops, I keep switching between screens here somehow. And so I want to show you how detailed we get in the solution sets. I'm going to click on practice problems here. And this is a question. And whoops. I'm going to click to the next, but on this one. Get a fresh question. And I'm just going to put anything in. And I'm going to click verify. And what verify does is it locks the question's answer, and it provides. This is a question that's got more than one step. So we're going to put that in, and then it's going to show us the solution. So we've worked out the entire solution so that we show them step by step everything they should do to solve that. And that's so that they can compare their written work to ours, so that they can identify their mistakes and hopefully not make it on subsequent questions. So I'll click again. And again, we'll just put something in, click verify. And now we're solving for X. And again, a robust, complete solution for them to compare their written work to ours. I'm going to quit and save that and close out the window. And that gives you an idea of, it shows you our testing and assessment platform, and also it shows you our solutions. Another thing I want to show you is the report cards. And this is something that you have access to and the student has access to. So I'm going to click on this Algebra 1, and that's going to load the grades. So we have a high level that shows us our course progress. We've made it 19%. So far, my average is 10%. I'm sure you can guess why my average is that low. It shows you my average for warm-ups, practice problems, stay sharp, and down to the quiz, test, midterm, which we also give you a midterm. We also give students an exam, final exam, and of course, our challenge. Now we can go, and for Unit 1, we'll open that up, and we can see in 1.1, I've done the warm-up and I've done the practice problems, but those are the only 2 of the 4 assignments that I've completed in that. And I'm at an 80% on the warm-up and a 0 on the practice problems for an average of 40 on that lesson, although I've only done 2 of the 4 assignments. And so it's only going to show how many assignments have been completed in that. But you might want more detail than that, because that gives you the grade and say, okay, they made an 80 and they made a 0, but you might want more granular detail. So you launch the course gradebook, and this is where we're really going to drill down, and we're going to be able to see how many times I've taken an assignment and all the questions. Now, if you see locks, these are assignments that have been begun but not completed. But I may have, you say, see, let's just take this one, 1.4, two-step equations practice problems. Just because it's locked here doesn't mean that there's not a version that I've completed. So I'm going to change this to 2000 rows, click search, and that's going to pull up more assignments. The default is 20, so it's going to just pull up 20 assignments. But by doing 2000, I should have pulled up, and I should have an assignment down here that's actually submitted. Yes. So I'm going to click on this, and it's one of the reviews lessons that we include in here that reviews the concept that we cover in pre-algebra, but we want to make sure that students are solid in this. So we can see the question I was asked, the response, correct response, and the solution for that. And you can see that for each of these questions. You can view my response, the correct response, and then the explanation to arrive at that correct response. So we give you a lot of detail here as a parent. And another thing I want to show you is so you can see when the assignment was started, when it was spent on it. Now, the way it works, this is going to work really well if they begin an assignment and finish it on the same day. So for instance, this took 4 minutes. But if you begin an assignment and you leave it open and then you come back to it later, it's going to count all of that time. So this assignment you see was open for 245 days. So that will never happen with a typical student, but it does in our test account here. So I will, I'm going to get out of this, and I'm actually going to log in as a parent and show you what you can do. And actually this, I've got a lot of test students in this parent account. Again, you will more than likely not have this many students, but I'm going to go to John Doe, and I'm going to open up, let's just say, let's click this edit subscription. You're actually able, like say your student finishes Algebra 1, to click them into another course during your subscription period. There's a lot of other things you can do here as well. So you can click here and you can actually set a grade threshold. And what this will do is it will lock the entire course so that students will have to go through it sequentially, and they'll have to make a certain grade. So we're going to make this, we're going to make me have to get an 80 or 90 in order to progress through the course. So what that'll make me do is that'll make me get a 90 on my lesson before I can move to the next lesson. So to unlock that next lesson, I might have to redo those practice problems a time or two. I might have to redo the stay sharp in order to unlock that next lesson for myself. And this is really good, especially for students that need a little accountability, because some students will, oh, I got a 40, but I'm going to move on to the next lesson. And they can really get themselves into a deep rut like that, because it won't take very many lessons of doing that until they get in a place where they are so far, they're in so far above their heads that it's going to be hard to dig out. So I really recommend setting that grade threshold and to make sure that they understand the material before moving on. Another thing that you can do, and let's say a student starts in our program, and we actually have a lot of students that will start halfway through, like start in January or something like that, because whatever they're using isn't working so well and they need to switch curriculum. But let's say they're starting in Algebra 1, but they've already done a little bit of Algebra 1 with a different curriculum. So in our program, they can actually test out of units, take that unit test and test out of the unit and move to the next unit, test out of that unit, and so forth. And if you feel like maybe they could start halfway, take the midterm, see how they do. Each question on the midterm is correlated to a lesson, so you'll be able to see which, if you look at every question on the midterm, okay, you missed 5 questions, but all those questions came from these lessons. Why don't we review these lessons and then move on to the second semester of the course. Another thing that you have is we're going to open up, this is, say, Unit 1. We can edit the grade threshold for that unit, or we can unlock all the lessons within it. But if we open up that as an accordion, we can go and we can modify the grades. And what this is useful for is any computer graded program, you're going to run into issues where a student has their math correct, but they've made an error, an input error. Whether it's, sometimes we use an abbreviation. Maybe they put an incorrect abbreviation or put it in a way that our system doesn't recognize. You can see the work they have on their paper. You can see whether it's correct or not, and you can modify the grade on any of their assignments. We keep a hard copy of the grades that cannot be modified, so we can always reversion back to that if need be. but we give you this ability to modify their grades if you know their math is correct, but they have not input something correctly. So we want to give parents as much flexibility as we can. Let me see. I think that is all I want to say about the inside of the course right now. I will mention that we've just won first place in the Practical Homeschooling Magazine's 2021 iLearn Awards. We just learned that last week. This is the 5th year in a row that we've won #1 for math. Practical Homeschooling Magazine is the largest circulation homeschool magazine in the world. And this is a reader survey that they put out to their subscribers, and also they promote it on Facebook and social media. So some of the ones that vote aren't subscribers, but they still go and vote. So we're really happy and fortunate. I'm going to stop sharing now. And if there's been any questions, I can answer those at this time. Have we gotten any, or?
No, no questions. You've done a great job of showing us around so far.
Thanks. I think I've covered just about everything that I wanted to cover. It is my wife is she is an absolutely phenomenal teacher, and that's one of the keys of our program is just her ability to explain these concepts in a way that students just get, and also engaging such a broad range of students, from struggling, special needs, all the way to gifted. So if your student fits any of those, we can probably help them. And then our robust testing and assessment, which is bar none the best there is.
So I am wondering, is all of this streaming, or is this something that you can download? Like, do you have to have an internet connection?
You do have to have an internet connection. So nothing's downloadable except for the reference notes. But yeah, you have to have a decent, if you can watch YouTube, you won't have a problem. Like, the most intensive thing is our videos. The testing and assessment is more like, if you can email, you could do that. But the videos would be as long as you can watch a YouTube video, you should be fine.
And then if you have a student who would prefer to do it, pen and paper or pencil and paper, it seems like you could do that and then enter the answers in. Is that correct?
That's actually what we recommend, is that students keep a math notebook, and that they do their work with pen or pencil and paper, because there's a lot of good learning that happens that way. And then, of course, input the answer into our program.
And then as far as timing goes, once you sign up for like algebra, how long do you have to complete it?
You have 1 year to complete it. We can do extensions on that, but you have 1 year. And since it takes a typical student 8 to 9 months to complete one course, and that gives you plenty of time for life to get in the way. And as homeschooling families, we know that life gets in the way a lot, and sometimes we're playing catch up, but this gives you time to do that.
Okay. And then I'm wondering also, if you enter into a course and you're struggling and you've signed up for help, can you switch to a different one? Like, how does that work if you?
Yes, get in touch with us for sure. And because we can actually look at your students' work and maybe identify why they're struggling. But we can put them down to a lower course. We can, if you choose one and I think they can do the next course, we can do back and forth. We're a homeschool family ourselves, and we want what's best for you.
That's great. No, I love the live help aspect, because I think that's so important when your kids get into upper level math. They need help, and I barely remember algebra, so they need someone who really knows it.
It's actually something that the teachers that we do have on staff, that they really enjoy, because they miss that student interaction from class. And so we don't have many. We really don't have many that come on. But when they do, yeah, they really enjoy that interaction of helping students. I mean, that's what a teacher gets their joy from.
Yeah. Is it like a Zoom call or how exactly does that look?
It starts out with online chat. So just like you go to pretty much any website that has online chat, except for ours, you're talking to a person, not a bot. And then depending on the needs, we can go into a shared whiteboard environment where the student and teacher can both write on the same virtual whiteboard so they can, see what each other's writing. And we also can do video calls, we can do phone calls, whatever it takes to get your student moving along.
Okay. Now, this has been so informative and so helpful, and I think we'll give a lot of our families, including me, options when our kids are using a curriculum that's just not working. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking time. And Matthew, you didn't mention that your wife just had a baby and you're still sitting here doing this. So don't forget how amazing that is.
Yes, we are quite thrilled with she's just a joy, and having four older siblings, she's getting showered with more love than any of our others have.
Right? She'll never be set down.
One thing I did want to mention is we'll do free consultations too to help you with placement. We don't have placement tests, but we're familiar with most of the homeschool curriculum, and we can help you place your student exactly where they want, where they need to be. You can email me at matthew@unlockmath.com or give me a call at 705-559-3830. And if these are too hard to remember, just go to our website. We've got the contact form right there. So it's and my phone number right there on the website.
Well, thank you, Matthew, for taking time out of your amazing busy life to show us around Unlock Math. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, have a great day, families.